Hello, guys. This is Gabe from Steelfish Studios. I want to share some content that's not strictly about video games. So, I've gotten into Magic the Gathering about a year or two ago, and I've been enjoying it a lot. I've been trying to get into more tabletop games, just give me more opportunities to socialize. And so, but I've mostly been playing with pre-con decks for those new to Magic the Gathering. Pre-con decks are basically decks that are built, that are complete and built I guess prematurely for I can't think of a better word, before you buy them, and they come with a full set of cards. So I have one here that has green, red, and white, and then I have another that's blue and white. So I've mostly been playing with these pre-con decks, but I decided it was time to build a custom deck, so I wanted to show you my first custom deck. So I always play in Commander format, and in Commander format, you have a legendary creature that you can choose as your commander. Instead of having to draw him, you can you can have him at the corner of your table, and then when you have enough mana that you get from pulling out land, you can summon the commander. So this, I'm going with this because I have this sort of like my deck is sort of this mix of death and nature. So it's almost like an undead army. Not exactly, but almost. A bunch of creatures that can manipulate both death and nature. So Old Man Willow's power and toughness. The more lands you have out in the field when you summon Old Man Willow, the more power and toughness he has. Power is good for power is good for attack power. So the more power you have, the more damage you can do to other players, and the more easy it is to kill for creatures to kill other creatures. Toughness is how much defense they have. If an opponent attacks you, you can use a creature to defend the attack. If the toughness of the creature using the block is less than the power of the opponent's creature, then your creature will die. But if it's higher, the toughness is higher, then their creature will die. Okay, so. And here's some lands because you do need some lands in order to be able to summon creatures as well as cast other spells. This one's pretty cool because it lets you it lets you basically remove the other player's graveyard from play. Basically, the graveyard has cards, either creatures that got killed, whether you sacrifice them or someone else killed your creature, or it can also have land sometimes, and it also has any spells that either you used or spells you tried to use but were canceled by the other player. They go to the graveyard. I have this kind of double card. From what I can tell, I would pick one of these cards, one of the sorcery spells in these cards, and then after that, I would put it in the graveyard. Another sorcery card. So the basic strategy I'm trying to have is I have a couple strategies. First of all, I want to have a bunch of these creatures, which I'll explain later, called tokens, which are basically generic creatures that you can have as many of them on the field as you want. And a lot of these cards I have on my deck right now have benefits when you sacrifice tokens, though I can also use tokens to defend myself, like token creatures. Another strategy I have is I also have plenty of other cards in this deck that heal at different times. So here's a Changeling Outcast. I'm not sure this guy's actually going to be very useful for my deck, but I like the idea of it, so I figured I'd give it a try. Keeper of Fables. I'm probably not going to have this on my deck forever, but I'm kind of new to building decks. I don't have a lot of money to spend on cards, so I was kind of taking what I could get. But this card's not bad on its own, especially since most of the creatures in my deck are not humans. So this will give me plenty of free card drawings. Oh yeah, also, what you want to know is, you see these elements up here? This is a type of mana that you need. Once again, you get mana by pulling out lands. You can tap those lands to get mana. And here you require green mana, black mana, and then 2 mana of any color to summon the commander. Let's see. Here's Okran Assassin, Death Touch, which I believe Death Touch is when she attacks a creature, that creature immediately dies. So if she tries to attack someone, but like the other player blocks with his creature, then she's automatically going to kill it. It doesn't matter what the creature's toughness is. So it's pretty deadly, if I'm right about the Death Touch effect. Right to the roots. See, so this lets me destroy a permanent. So a permanent is basically any card that you have in the field, such as a land, a creature, enchantment, artifacts. So let's see. I might actually swap this out because I have another deck that I'm trying to build that's more focused on using the graveyard to my advantage. So I might actually get rid of this in favor of a different card later down the line. This one, I'm not sure. I feel like it's 50-50 if I'm going to keep it or not, but it's a pretty cool card. Trample, basically, even if, say, you attack another player, he blocks with one of his creatures. If your monster has higher attack than his defending creature's defense, then whatever is left over will still count as damage to the other players. For example, your creature has 5 power, and you attack the other player. He uses a creature with 4 toughness to block himself. Then that creature would still die, but the other player would still have 1 damage left over, and he would suffer that damage. That's what Trample does. Here's a sorcery card. Let's see, so okay, so basically it's for searching for land cards. Rimswall the Dread Soldier. Oh,